This shipwreck was pulled off the beach in 1978. Before that, it was kind of floating around Nags Head and the Outer Banks for a while. It also ran into Jeanette's Pier in '78 as well. And then it appeared here in the town hall after it got notified to the state in the underwater archaeology branch. And then eventually, with the Department of Transportation and some heavy equipment, they pulled it off the beach. It got transferred over here, and then it's been out here since 1978.
In the 1970s, this wreck took quite an adventure up and down the coast of North Carolina, sort of between Nags Head and Ocracoke, washing out to shore and coming into the beach and being embedded in the beach for a period of time before washing out again. The first archaeologists that looked at this site did what they were supposed to do. They went and recorded it. They took all of the dimensions of the different aspects of the wreck, and they're going into the historical record and they're searching for clues. Well, there was one particular narrative in relation to an identification of a vessel called the Francis E. Waters, which the US Lifesaving Service reported off the coast as being upside down. And this wreck, it was found in an upside down state. It's very kind of satisfying emotionally to assign a name to a wreck because it connects you with the history. And so the name Francis E. Waters stuck. But a number of years ago, we had a student do an assignment on this, and we can look at the dimensions of the different aspects of this ship, and we can correlate that to vessels of the era according to rules dictated by marine insurance. And those clues were indicating this is a much larger ship. The Francis E. Waters was about 150 tons, but these timbers are suggesting something much larger, 500 to 900 tons.
So the wreck is that we know is a late 19th to early 20th century wreck. And we know that it could be a schooner.
As time has gone on, we've had a lot more technology at our disposal as archaeologists. Back in 2016, we were working collaboratively with the Coastal Studies Institute, and we were experimenting with taking 3D models.
How to create a 3D model is you have a photography camera and you're walking around whatever you're taking a photo of, and you're overlapping each photo around the wreck to overlap so I can create the model from all those photos, where I can turn it around and can manipulate it and look at the wreck from different angles and different views. And then the purpose of it is, there's a model done in 2016 by Dr. Richards and another student at the time. I want to compare that model and the models I'm making now, and that's going to show how much the wreck has changed over the years. We have the IML resistograph. It's a drill that checks wood density. The density shows us how well preserved or degraded the wood is. So if there's a high density, it means the wood is still fairly structurally sound and stable, but if the density is kind of low, the wood's degraded and it's not structurally sound anymore.
This wreck has a whole series of benefits. I mean, of course, how often do you get to go to a parking lot and see a wreck? There are wrecks all up and down the beaches of North Carolina and in the water. You don't often see an upside down wreck one uncovers on the beach because they're normally the right side up. Because it's no longer in the ocean, it's not waterlogged, it's not being eaten by things like marine borers, things like shipworm. But of course, the challenge here is that it is dry, it is in the sun, it is drying out, and it's been here for a long time.
I was really intrigued by the wreck because I work in the Preservation Conservation Lab at Joyner Library at ECU's campus. I've always been interested in preservation and conservation work. Looking at this wreck and seeing photos of it from 1978 when it was in a good condition, and looking at it now, I was kind of intrigued about the preservation of it and what's happened to it. So I was really curious about what could be done to protect it in the future, or see what's going to happen to it and how far gone it is.
Recommendations for preservation are really difficult because you're talking about pretty significant expenses. And at a certain point in time, a wreck may not be worth preserving. As much as we'd like to, most of the wrecks that have been pulled out of the water and go through these processes are very historically significant. The promise of this site is for us to use it as a sort of a scientific experiment. Every year, lots of wrecks show up on the beach, and we're curious about what their future is. By taking these measurements here in a sort of an experimental fashion, we hope to come up with recommendations that would inform what heritage managers and town managers and maritime history enthusiasts might do with those wrecks too. But here you have a tangible connection to America's maritime past. America's maritime history is so long, there's so many aspects to it, so many trades, so many nations and areas of the United States are represented in this assemblage or this database of shipwrecks that you have strewn from the borders of Virginia to the borders with South Carolina, and you can see one right here.